Upgrading to Town Hall 13 in 2023 is vastly different compared to what it was like back in 2021. So I wanted to give you my ultimate Town Hall 13 upgrade guide, no matter if you are a free-to-play player or you buy the gold pass, going from what is new that you unlock at Town Hall 13 all the way into your laboratory priority. So what do you unlock new here at Town Hall 13? Well, you unlock the Royal Champion, your fourth and final hero so far, alongside the two new defenses, the Scatter Shot, and of course, the new traps that you're able to get. In my personal opinion, you should be upgrading your new traps all the way to the max level, since it shouldn't take that long. Alongside that, you should get the Scatter Shots as quickly as possible to cement yourself as a Town Hall 13. But also, getting your Royal Champion to level 5 is really important for that Seeking Shield. So what doesn't need to be upgraded? Well, the Collectors for one, but alongside some of the traps like the Skeleton Trap, the Spring Trap, and the Tornado Trap if you haven't upgraded them to max already. Of course, you've also got the Dark Spell Factory and the Dark Bear, and of course the Sweepers and Builder Huts, since they don't get any new levels, or at least the Builder Huts don't until your Town Hall 14. Now I know you're here for the priority, so let's start with the offensive priority and work our way over to the defensive priority. Now there have been a lot of cost reductions since Town Hall 14 and Town Hall 15 were released. So let's start with your first priority being the laboratory. This is pretty much where you're going to be upgrading troops, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I would heavily recommend on either using a hammer or book, as it's going to speed up that and you can take advantage of the Town Hall boost. From here, I would work on these storages, since you will really need these, and especially if you don't buy the gold pass, this is actually super important. So upgrading your gold, elixir, and dark elixir storages are by far super important for literally the entire Town Hall 13 journey. Now from there, I would work on the Clan Castle. This changed from gold to elixir a couple updates ago, but it is really nice. Back then it used to cost like 18 million gold, and it took 18 days to upgrade compared to now where it only takes 12 million elixir and only takes about 13 days to upgrade, so it's really nice. After that, I would then work on your heroes, and my priority is to work on your Royal Champion to level 5, then moving into your Warden and your Archer Queen, and then finishing up your Royal Champion, and then working on your Barbarian King. From there, I would then work on the Town Hall. Getting that from star level 1 all the way to star level 5 is what you should prioritize. The army camps is going to be next, and I would recommend using either a book or hammer on any of these to speed them up, but if you want to wait it out, you can wait it out. It's an important upgrade, as army camps going up from 280 to 300 is really good. Of course, after this, you've got your final couple offensive upgrades, which is the Barrack to unlock the Dragon Rider, which can be a really nice upgrade, but not a heavy priority, since there are better strategies. Of course, you then got your Recall spell, thanks to the Spell Factory, and of course, we also have the Siege Workshop, which unlocks the Siege Barrack and the Log Launcher. Not really a high priority, because you can just already get those from the Clan Castle. So that's your offensive priority, so let's work on to defense. Now, onto your defenses, you should already have your level 1 scatter shots placed, and your Town Hall should pretty much be maxed by this point. You're going to be first focusing in on the Eagle Artillery being pretty much the most dangerous defense. It has the range of the entire map, so you basically want to upgrade it sooner rather than later. Then work on to your scatter shots. This is the new key defense that you get at 13, and it's incredibly important because they do so much damage, so you don't want to underestimate them. Of course, you should then work on all 3 of your Inferno Towers. They're really nice to upgrade, and when you finish the Eagle, the Scatter, and the Infernos, that cements you as a pretty defensive Town Hall 13 despite not having everything maxed. They're going to do most of the work, and they're going to be the bigger threats in this case. Of course, you've also got the Expos. This is really nice, as you can defend a lot of different things like the Flame Flinger for the most part, or prolonging damage onto something like the Archer Queen or the Grand Warden. This has 2 levels, so just keep that in mind. The Wizard Towers also has 2 levels, is another priority. While this isn't nearly as a big key defense, it's still very important for you to upgrade to defend things like balloons or any other smaller units that are more fragile and more prone to taking splash damage. Or even witches, I guess. Now, from here, you should work on your air defenses. I would also heavily recommend that you do not upgrade these all at once. Upgrade them with the notion that you should have at least all of your other air defenses, still up, or you should use either books or hammers to upgrade them. Then work on your Teslas. Teslas have 2 levels, and it's going to be something important because Teslas definitely provide a little bit of that chip damage, which is really nice. Now from here on, you've basically got your final couple defenses. Your cannons and mortars are really nice to get upgraded at Town Hall 13, but they're a little bit on the lower priority because there's so many of them, and realistically, they're not as powerful as your key defenses. From here, you should then work on your bomb towers and mortars, and while they're not extremely useless, they're not necessarily the big things that you should really prioritize. So that is really both your offense and your defense priority for buildings. Now moving straight into the laboratory priority, there's a lot of things that you have to consider. First and foremost, Dark Elixir updates for the most part are going to wait at the early moments while you're upgrading everything else. So what I would recommend first is doing the wall breakers. These are really good for every aspect in the game, but also this is really good for farming with sneaky goblins, which more than likely you're going to be using. Alongside that, the invisibility spell is another upgrade that you're going to do for farming, but also for your queen charge, your Sui hero. It's going to help in a lot of situations, which is why I would recommend it. Now, your starter farming army is always going to be these sneaky goblins, but you also have baby dragons, and they can work incredibly well for you as you can basically use them for farming as well, but also for funneling. Now, these are going to be my 3 first priorities because in general, they're just really good for all aspects of the game, and they're even good for mismatch attacks, which if you haven't checked that video out and you're seeing a lot of Town Hall 15s, make sure you check out my video, which I will leave as in the description, also as a card over here for you guys to check out after this video. From here, I would then start to focus in on creating a simple spam army, which I think a lot of people will favor, the E-Drags and Balloons. They're great for farming, they're also great for war in certain aspects, so they're good to upgrade. From here though, you actually want to start setting up a very strong ground strategy. Healers and bowlers are going to be your next priority. The healer is really nice for basically doing any queen charge or warden walk, which is going to be a staple of different strategies going forward. So doing that first and then upgrading your bowler, you're not using it for the regular bowler. You're using it for the super bowler. The super bowler is basically one of the strongest troops at Town Hall 13, and it is going to be your go-to war army for most situations. And I actually made a guide on this strategy very recently with how flexible it is. I would heavily recommend that you also check out that video after the video, or after this one. The card is right here and the link to it is in the description. From here, you should start looking at some of the 3-star strategies that you can use here at Town Hall 13 to earn you more 3 stars for clan wars and clan war leagues. Starting off with the hybrid. This is a very strong strategy that you should always start with the miner first, then the hog riders, then the heal spell, and then lastly you should upgrade your poison spell. This is what you should be doing for your go-to, and even an army composition, which you can see on screen with the clan castle, and the army comp is actually going to be in the description of this video. Now, if you want to try your hand at a really strong strategy, the lava balloon, this is a really good way, and this is what you should prioritize. The lava hound first, then the minion. This can really be a very strong army since you can use this with Sui hero, queen charge, blizzard, or even the skelly donut, which I'm going to leave the skelly donut as a link in the description alongside the army comp and the CC. I even have a guide on this that you should check out after this video if you're interested in it, which I'll leave a link down below alongside a card for that video. Now, if you want a simple strategy that doesn't use a ton of queen charges or Sui heroes or whatever, you've got the Hydra. It's a simple dragon spam army. All you're going to do is prioritize your dragons, then your dragon riders, and then of course your clone spells. Otherwise, this is a really strong strategy, and mainly my favorite version of this is, of course, the triple clone Hydra. So I'll leave a link down below in the description for that, alongside the army composition and the clan castle you can see on screen. Now, of course, everyone wants to upgrade faster. So, of course, there's no right or wrong way to upgrade here at Town Hall 13. So if you want to prioritize what I'm doing, or if you want to do something else, it's up to you. There are also other ways to speed up progression, such as the Gold Pass, which I would heavily recommend getting. Use my creator code, CodeCorrupt. It really helps me and it supports the channel and everything I do. Not only that, but you also have Clan Capital raids. If you're active in there, you can get magic items or resources, which is really helpful thanks to the raid medals. You should also prioritize Clan War Leagues, as you can get magic items, specifically the hammers, being very strong that I mentioned throughout the video. In the laboratory, don't upgrade troops that you won't use anytime soon until the very end, as an example being like something like the Valkyrie or even the recall spell, since they're probably not going to be used by most players.